The opinions of the individuals during this broadcast are their own and may not be the opinions of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Open your eyes.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Open Your Eye for July 13th, 2021. My name's Cindy Howell, and I'm here with my joint host and boss, Kim Cooper. Kim?
Hi, everybody. I'm really glitchy. Well, welcome to the farm and internet at the farm. Cindy, you're gone again. Eventually, my video will catch up, and I hopefully will be able to hear you. And hopefully you're hearing me right now.
I hear you right now. I don't know if you hear me at all, but
Awesome.
I hear everything.
Awesome. We're hoping that the glitches work themselves out, but I may disappear occasionally. And for sure, Cindy and all of you viewers at home do disappear for me. I have a very hard time hearing Cindy, so I might wind up cutting her off or talking over her because of the lag that we're experiencing here. Still working out issues with internet here at the farm.
Well, fingers crossed that gets worked out quickly.
Yeah, you're gone.
I'm gone. This is going to be a fun show. Right now, I mean, like, we're going to go back and forth between her saying, "Oh, Cindy's there," and her saying, "Oh, shit, where'd Cindy go?" We're going to talk today. I found an article for us to chat about. We're going to get this out of the way because that might help Kim. If she can get rid of the other phone that's taking up some internet, she might get less glitchy. So if we can, we want to, I did post it in Open Your Eye earlier, so you guys can follow along with us. I found this article I thought was kind of interesting on why psychedelics could eventually treat asthma. And I thought it was kind of interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, it's sorry, you're gone again. I don't know if you're talking. I'm talking over you probably. It's a really cool story from Psychedelic Spotlight. Why psychedelics could eventually treat asthma. Asthma. I mean, we know about, end of life, depression, all the rest of it. But now anti-inflammatory agents and psychedelics treating asthma. Take her away.
That's really cool. Yeah. Yeah. Ulysses Therapeutics has found a potential novel application for psychedelic substances treating asthma. The research comes off the back of over a decade's worth of work investigating the therapeutic potential of psychedelics such as LSD or psilocybin, ayahuasca, iboga, to treat mental health issues. But a recent effort by Ulysses and their partners has uncovered small doses may help those suffering from the common respiratory condition. That's really cool.
Yeah, it is very cool. I mean, psychedelics are structurally similar to serotonin, a neurotransmitter found in the body that is implicated in a variety of functions. And the effects of psychedelic substances due to their interaction with the serotonin 2A receptors, one of many receptors found in the brain. It's like a key that fits into a lock, they say. And psychedelics have a complementary shape to the reception. One of these bind together, and these substances may open the brain to ensuing psychedelic effects if taken in high enough doses. But in low dose, the medicinal values are vast.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, like we both have used them for anxiety and whatnot in microdosing ways, and oddly, once in a while macrodosing. So it's really cool. I've never thought about like to check and like take a look at my breathing. Has it improved? Um, but if I stop and think about it, like the dabs I can take now versus 2.5 years ago, it no one. I'm not coughing as much. My dabs are bigger. I know that's kind of a funny way to compare it, but it's a good way for me. It's easy to think about how I used to dab before to now. Um, I'm wondering now, like maybe mushrooms made the difference.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's an amazing leap forward that they're studying psychedelics for the therapeutic effects of, things like end of life depression, that kind of thing. But they're finding out so much more offshoot stuff, like on asthma. And I mean, that's exciting stuff.
Yes. So previous research has shown that serotonin is associated with the inflammation response. When there is elevated serotonin, there is likely to be elevated inflammatory markers, including protein TNF alpha, which is released as part of the inflammation response. Contradicting to this, a study conducted in 2008 found that an array of classic psychedelics, that is, substances that bind to serotonin 2A receptor that Kim had mentioned here before, had extraordinary potent anti-inflammatory effects. Among the most potent was the R-DOI substance, which is a substance structurally similar to mescaline, with subjective effects similar to LSD. These psychedelics seem to inhibit the release of the TNN alpha, thereby reducing the body's inflammation response, which is like a really scientific explanation of what it is doing in your body. It's helping to block what needs to be blocked, and therefore taking down swelling. And this is amazing, not just for people with asthma, but I mean, like I'm reading this thinking, oh my god, my rheumatoid arthritis and my osteoarthritis, like, I mean, my hands are going to move better. My back is going to move better. Yeah, like this is really exciting stuff that is going to reach way further than just asthma.
Absolutely, absolutely. The anti-inflammatory properties. I mean, inflammation. When you think about the things, illnesses that include inflammation, and just taking the swelling down out of any number of illnesses, taking the swelling down alleviates a majority of the symptoms. It definitely alleviates a lot of asthma. You take this inflammation down, and your airways are functioning more readily, and accepting oxygen more readily because they're not as narrow. As you say, osteoarthritis, many of the other conditions that are out there, swelling, that's your pain, man. If you can get the swelling down, you're golden.
Absolutely. So, psychedelics for asthma. One further inflammatory illness that is particularly widespread is asthma, a condition in which airways narrow and swell, making breathing difficult. For some people, it's a minor, nuisance, but for others, it can interfere with daily activities and even lead to life-threatening asthma attacks. Across the globe in the world, there are approximately 262 million people suffering from asthma, and with that figure expected to rise over the next several decades. So, psychedelics. I mean, and we're not talking like let's go out and get stoned and see things. We're talking, microdosing, taking a very small amount every couple of days, and that it seems to help. To extend the above findings, Ulysses Therapeutics, a company dedicated to the application of the anti-inflammatory nature of psychedelics, investigated the effects of a range of psychedelics in a rat model of asthma. And the study was published in ACS Pharmacology and Transitional Science. Involved testing 21 different classic psychedelics. which bind with the serotonin 2A receptor. So they've picked 21 different psychedelics. I mean, they're not just focusing on the 3 or 4 that have been in the headlines lately. They're finding everything they can and giving it a go.
I was just looking over the comments. A few people are commenting there, and one of them caught my eye. Hi, Ron. Nice to see you, Ron McNabb, and some Facebook users out there. Somebody mentioned in the comments that they never were able to dab before, as consumers, I assume, and they were never able to dab before, but now they use mushrooms and they're able to dab.
Yeah.
So opening up the airways.
Yeah. Yeah, so here we have proof, just like in this room right now. We have we have proof. I mean, like I mentioned that my dabs are larger. This person is Facebook user is mentioning that they can dab now. Yeah, so I mean that's really it's really exciting stuff.
Yeah.
I did post
the airways, right?
Yeah.
I mean, sorry.
No worries. Lag is a fun thing. Yeah, so the story is posted over on Open Your Eye. You can go take a read. We're pretty much at the end of the article that we were reading. We were both doing it on our phones, just trying to decrease lag on the computer, by the way. That's why you saw us constantly looking down or something. I want to apologize, but I have a nice hat, so I mean you didn't get all boring views.
I lost most of that, so I can't even respond. Again, internet connection here, folks. I'm on data in the middle of a farmer's field in the middle of bumfuck nowhere. So apologies for that. But very interesting article. I encourage everybody to go and read it. New groundbreaking research happening. They're researching for one thing and they find out all these other things. Plant therapy, people. If it's a naturally grown plant given to us by Mother Nature, it's here for a reason and it's here to treat something. And we're finding out more and more every day about psychedelics and the advancements there.
Yeah, it's really exciting. Really, really. Yeah, so have a read. If you take a look at the article, there are there are other articles about psychedelics that are if you keep scrolling, you can have a few interesting reads there. So yeah, do please do. I think Kim froze. Oh, I hear you.
I've lost you again. I think
I'm
that's
here.
going to be a theme today.
It is.
By next show, we promise. I promise. Even if I have to go somewhere to make that happen, we're going to make that happen. I'm going to take this time now to get on with the show, so to speak, and talk to you guys today about today's guest that we have on. We're going to have a discussion with Cindy Howell. That's right. A joint host is indeed our guest today. For those of you that have been following Cindy's journey, she's taking a trip, and more than one way, that's for sure. She's taking a couple of trips. First, she's going on a trip, and then she's going on another trip to get in touch with herself and get control of her PTSD and depression. Cindy is going for an iboga treatment and is anticipating that. So today we're going to talk a little bit with Cindy about how it was to arrange this, as well as what are her expectations going forward, because she leaves tomorrow. So what are her her expectations, and what is she expecting to get out of this? So when it's all said and done, we're gonna bring Cindy back in about a month and see how it all turned out. So let's do the before and after. So Cindy, you're excited, I bet.
Excited, and a whole lot nervous, a little bit intimidated, but really looking forward to the journey. Uh, it's been 2.5 years in the making. Really, it's been 42 years in the making, but I've been searching for it for 2.5 years, and I'm really excited to have it finally happen.
Yeah, it's been a long journey for you, that's for sure. Let's start off with just not in depth or anything, but you are diagnosed with PTSD. So just an overview of what that entails. You're a veteran, but you never saw combat. Your PTSD comes from other. So just tell us a little bit about overview of life for Cindy and why you sought this treatment out.
Um, well, it started when I was 7. I am a childhood trauma survivor, and I'm really starting to feel like a survivor. Um, then I grew up and I dealt with other traumas during my life. I don't want to give in a lot of details, but it's sexual trauma. I unfortunately suffered, and then I married a man who I thought was a decent guy, and we got home on our wedding night, and he showed me who he really was, and I stayed there for almost 4 years. Um, and there has been a few things in between. The abuser that I suffered, that abused me when I was a child, I've had to um, due to circumstances, this person has been in my life almost my every day, up until probably about, I'd say, 8 months ago, and I finally stood up and said, enough is enough, get the fuck out of my life. Um, and my life has changed since then, uh, dramatically. I was lucky enough to hear about the movie Dosed 2.5 years ago, and I went to watch that. That showed me iboga for the first time ever, and I decided that that's where I needed to go. And I have spent 2.5 years searching for it. Um, a number of months ago, you sent me a link to watch the Psychedelic Frontier, which I watched, and it involved it involved the same one of the same guides, and I decided to say screw it, and I started searching for these specific people on Facebook. Um, and wow, I found them. I friended them. I reached out to them, and they reached back. And here I am. I'm about to leave. I am leaving in less than 16 hours. I am on a plane in the air, and heading to BC to have my own iboga ceremony that I found out about 2.5 years, and I'm so excited.
Yeah. Yeah, I know you are. We've been talking quite a bit about your excitement for this journey and your expectations. It's going to be quite a journey for you indeed, and you know, all signs are that it's going to work. It's going to work for you and give you some much needed peace.
Yes.
So, how was it trying to arrange? You you spoke about the documentaries and that we watched, and we aired them on IWK as well, Cannabis Information with Northern Ontario CAMA, during our movie nights. We did air those documentaries, and they are sort of were the catalyst that pushed you forward uh, to finding out how you could get this treatment for yourself. And prior to this, of course, you've been microdosing with the psilocybin, but it's not quite enough. It's
Yeah.
keeping you, not alleviating the the ball. It's keeping the ball from bouncing, but the ball still exists, so to
Yeah.
speak. So the iboga will hopefully pop that balloon ball and give you some peace. So how
Yes.
was it? Was it difficult to arrange this, to find a place to go to give you this treatment right here in Canada?
Um, in At first, when I was looking into it, and like you said, I was microdosing for probably about, I don't know, 3 or 4 months before I saw the movie Dosed. And when I saw the movie, the Halifax Psychedelic Society put it on here in New Minas in Nova Scotia, and it was a great movie. A lot of people, there were 600 of us there, and we all had the same question: how can we do this? And the Halifax Psychedelic Society, of course, like, I mean, like, like everybody's terrified of the legal side of this, so their only response was, "Seek and ye shall find." So I sought and I sought and I sought throughout Nova Scotia. I asked questions, and people said, well, I'll meet you for a coffee. And then they never met me for coffee because they would get scared and nervous and whatnot. And so, I mean, I went through that for about 2 years. And like I said, eventually when you put the other movie in front of me, the other doc in front of me, and I watched it, and I said, you know what? I said, they're the same people, and they're putting their face out there, so they got to be open to people asking them questions. Maybe I'm asking the wrong people questions, and that's pretty much what went through my head. And I reached out to Mark Howard. He was the gentleman that was in both documentaries, and I said, hi. I said, this is. I gave him like a 1 paragraph blurb, and he said, I want you to fill out this form and somebody will call you. Um, so I went to where he said to fill out the form, and I did so. And from that point on, it was really, really easy. People started coming out of the woodwork at that point in time. I mean, Mark Howard, Elizabeth Bast, I chatted with Louis De Silva. I have chatted with Patrick Malden, another one of the patients. I have reached out and chatted with Patrick Fishley, Gareth Moxie. Like, I mean, there are so many people in the space that once they know that you're serious about your healing, boy howdy, they come out of the woodwork, and they're there to answer questions. In the last 24 hours, I have had a lot of people like that are in this circle reach out to me to wish me luck and tell me how excited they are for me, and so yeah, I mean, it definitely is a seek and ye shall find, and I'm just really excited that some of the people that we need to seek for are putting their faces out there. So it's becoming easier.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not that difficult once you connect the dots, right? You can look up all of these people that have done these open documentaries and put themselves forward there. Most of them are on one of the social media platforms or another, and that's what it takes, is reaching out.
Absolutely. If you're lucky to be in, there's a facility called MAPS. It's an acronym, MAPS. You can look them up on Google. The gentleman's name that started it just escaped my brain. I was thinking about him, and then he's gone. Paul. I can't remember it for the life of me. But if Stamets, that's who it is. He's an incredibly smart man, and if you live in an area where MAPS is doing any of their programs, they're always looking for people to sign up for their research studies. And it's basically the same thing. I mean, you're microdosing with a psychedelic. They're researching. They started with psilocybin. They've researched MDMA. They've researched MDA. They've researched LSD. And they're moving forward with some of the bigger psychedelics as well. And they're a great program. Even if you don't live near them, they're a great program to research and take a look at. You can learn a lot about the different psychedelics out there, and what they're hoping that they will achieve, and what they've found out that they do achieve so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Information and resources are available. We've had several guests on the show that have traveled, the globe, going to Colombia, going to Peru, going to Brazil, even Africa, and studying and learning about psychedelic therapy and you know getting in touch with iboga, ayahuasca, and many others of the psychedelics, including the various mushrooms that are out there. But for those of us that don't aren't able for whatever reason to go to Peru, you don't really have to.
Not anymore. No, no. There are people here in
Yeah.
Canada that are offering these ceremonies. And I, like I said, I've researched and followed the iboga. But following that, I have learned about ayahuasca. And one of the things that I'm doing when I'm in BC, the guide that is helping me, he is friends with the people that own the ayahuasca retreat, about an hour outside of Vancouver. So there's an ayahuasca retreat about an hour outside of Vancouver that I didn't even know about. Um, and so they're going to take me there, because we get to walk in the forest and walk in the mountains of British Columbia, as you know, you're going through this ceremony, and I'm so excited. um and ayahuasca is just like I say, it's one that I've learned about, I'd say, in the last 6 to 12 months. I've learned about ayahuasca. I didn't even know about it before. um so I'm really excited to go do this. Like, the person that I've chosen, I picked them for a couple of reasons. In the first 10 seconds I chatted with this person on the phone, not even video. um I was at ease, immediately at ease. And for somebody that is coming from sexual trauma, being that at ease with a man says a lot. So that's one of the main reasons I picked him. But I also get the chance to go to the ayahuasca retreat, not as it's happening, but I get to go and I get to see that retreat and go through that forest and be in those mountains. And it's something that the other places, just here in Canada, they don't offer. There is a gentleman that travels across Canada, and he travels because he knows that, really, the only places that offer these ceremonies in Canada are in British Columbia. There's not really much outside of British Columbia at this moment. Um, but so he travels, and that's Louis, right? He travels, and he offers ceremonies, in every province as he goes along. Um, you know, so but I don't get the
Yeah.
added bonus of going into the ayahuasca mountains, which, it's something that I'm really excited to go and do.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, that's the ultimate reason to do the travel, is to do in the mountains, and in the right setting and all of that. It's very exciting stuff indeed. But for those that aren't able to do that full ultimate experience, it doesn't mean that you're done. I mean, you can still get the help. This guy travels, and we have, as we found out here doing this show, there's people in every province in this great nation of ours that are shaman, and they have already done the travel. They've gone to Peru, they've gone to Brazil, they've gone to Africa, and they've studied the shaman that are there that use this original medicine given to us by Mother Nature. So study, and just practitioner of any kind, whether it's your massage therapist or your chiropractor or your doctor or your naturopath, naturopath. Those people studied these things. So why not take advantage of it right here at home? I mean, I think it's fantastic. I'm excited for you doing it in the mountains in BC. Um, but at the same time, I look at my farm, and I full woods, and I call it, Northern Ontario's jungle. And I'd
Yep.
love to get a shaman up here and do ceremonies in our fields.
Hey, I know one. He's a buddy of mine. He'd probably come and do that.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be very cool.
Yeah.
Now, iboga and ayahuasca, they're two very, very different substances. Um, One, I guess, would be most a lighter version of the other. And the iboga is much more intense and much more physical.
Yeah.
A
The
physical
way
reaction that
the way it was
happens.
the way it was explained to me, Louis de Silva explained it this way to me. He said ayahuasca and iboga, um, they do kind of similar things, but ayahuasca is just the girl. It's just the female. Iboga is both the female and the male. So you get a more rounded, which is why it's a little bit more intense. Um, they both purge your body. Yay. Um, so they both will purge toxins, physical toxins from your body, before they set to work on your mind and your soul. Um, so and that's one of the things I have spent the last 2 weeks preparing my body. Which means I've had to give up caffeine. I have had mistakenly by accident. I went out to, well, I didn't go out to dinner with my dad, but when I go out to dinner with my dad, I just automatically order a cup of tea. So I've had one cup of tea, and I didn't mean to. I was sipping it, and then I went, ah, shit. And I was so good that I said, frig it, I'm going to finish it anyway. And I did. So I've had one cup of tea in the past 2.5 weeks, like 15, 16 days. My sugar has gone down to almost none. I have basically given up dairy. I haven't had red meat in 2 weeks. Uh, it's it's all part of preparing for this ceremony. Iboga does not. I'm getting the picture that Iboga does not like beef. So they kind of want that out of your system before you go in and take the iboga. They want you off all medications, which cannabis got me off all my medications anyway, so I'm okay with that. Um, they don't want you to drink, which I don't anyway. But yeah,
Yeah.
giving up caffeine and red meat has been a challenge.
Now you broke up a little bit there. I'm not sure if you already said this or not, but I'm going to ask it again anyway. Now, the reason for you giving up all of these things and ridding your body of toxins and everything is so that you have a slightly easier time of it going through your ceremony. Now, when you do iboga, that purges your body of everything inside your body. So people that go for an iboga treatment, you mean at the beginning you were talking about your comfort level with the shaman that you've chosen, and with iboga that is so important because you're literally puking and shitting basically on another planet for several hours, and you're entrusting all of this to somebody that is virtually a stranger.
Yes, yeah. Well, you don't.
That's quite the deal.
Fortunately, you don't. The throwing up and the diarrhea, they only last for about an hour. Once your body is purged, you go to bed and you relax, and they tell me that at that point you put a blindfold on. Like once you're cleaned up and in bed, you put a blindfold on. The nurse will stand there with me to make sure that I'm physically okay. The nurse stays with me for a full 12 hours, and watches me for the full 12 hours. Uh, and then but once you're done purging, which I said takes about 50 to 60 minutes, then you basically go to sleep. And you close your eyes. They put the blindfold on just to give you that beautiful darkness. um and uh and the iboga then takes you to where you need to go, and that's when your
Right.
expectations and your intentions become so important. And I was asked to think about those and write them down, because at that point in time, that's when I turn to the iboga spirit, as they call it, and I say, this is what I need to ask, this is what I am looking for. And no matter what I'm looking for, iboga then decides if it's okay, well, that's not really the important part, and it goes to work on healing you. I think we lost Kim for a second, so I'm just going to keep chatting. Iboga then goes to work on healing you, and it sets you down with your PTSD, or your issues, and you get to deal with them. The way Patrick Muldoon explained it is he sat down with himself at the moment that his PTSD formed. Um, and it was, he was able to chat with himself at that moment. At this particular second, we're 34 minutes into the show. I'm going to throw up the commercial and take Kim and I out. That will give her a chance to leave and come back. give you guys a chance to watch the commercial. So at this particular moment, we are in the middle of Open Your Eye, interviewing me, Cindy Howell, about my upcoming iboga ceremony. I am going to throw up the commercial and have a medication break and give Kim a moment to come back. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see all of you folks once I get my. There we go. And once I get my computer going here, I'm going to add this to the stream.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Growing your own vegetables, flowers, or even medicinal plants can be a challenge without the right equipment and proper know-how. At BMA Hydroponics, not only are they your urban horticultural experts and suppliers, but their staff holds the customer's needs paramount to making a sale. Family-owned with decades of experience and knowledge, they offer free advice in person, by phone, or email. BMA Hydroponics wants to ensure you have the advice you need, which is why you'll find tips and tricks on different ways to grow, like wick, ebb and flow, drip, or aeroponic system, as well as other helpful links at bmahydroponics.com. If you can't find what you're looking for, just let them know, and they'll do everything they can to get what you're looking for. At BMA Hydroponics, each staff member also possesses a federal exemptee MMAR license, making their strong suit empathy, experience, and dedication to their customers. Because when you know how to grow, you'll have results that make you proud. BMA Hydroponics in Belleville, Ontario. Visit bmahydroponics.com.
CP operates a medicinal cannabis signing clinic. If you want to grow your own medicinal cannabis and are located anywhere in Canada, then I'd like to suggest that you give them a call. They can be reached at 1-613-967-9888. That's 1-613-967-9888. And grow on with CP.
Pace Radio is the people advocating cannabis education radio network.
A doctor's job is to relieve your pains. And when it comes to growing cannabis, the biggest pain is trimming. Let Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions take the pain away. Whether you're a home grower or commercial operation, we have the cure. From 4 plants to 400 plants, garden size doesn't matter. Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions comes to you with years of experience and professional discreet service. It's simple. We trim your weed and we do a damn good job. Visit drbuckcts.com to book your trimming.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
At Legacy 420, we believe in being different.
Experience the difference of quality control.
Our labs provide tested formulations for all of our products.
Experience the difference in trust.
Our customers can trust that we are following up-to-date COVID precautions for their safety.
Experience the difference in accessibility.
We're open 7 days a week. Please visit our website, legacy420.com, or contact us for curbside pickup as well as nationwide mail order shipping.
Legacy 420 values overall wellness.
Come and experience the difference of Legacy 420.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
You know what I almost forgot? I almost forgot that I was the running StreamYard, and I had to put us back in.
I almost forgot to bring us back. Too funny. Oh, you're gone again. I don't know if I'm still there. I think I'm still there. Oh, I just heard a hi.
Hi. Yeah, no, I'm here. I am here. I think it's just I removed the other thing from the studio, and I've noticed that when I play with that add remove stuff, I lag an extra second for you.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah, I think you are correct. All right. Well, I know we lost me just before the break, and I came back just as we were going to break. So I got to hear the whole break, and that was nice hearing the commercial bit for a change. Usually I'm busy running the board and doing something else, so it was nice listening to our commercial set with all our wonderful here at paceradio.net, listening to Open Your Eye with joint host and guest Cindy Howell, talking about her experience that is up and coming. She leaves tomorrow, gets on the great jet plane and heading out west to BC and go on her iboga journey, and hopefully get some relief for her
Yeah.
PTSD. So chatting all about that, and you know, how it was setting it up. I guess from here we should talk a little bit about your expectations. What are you expecting to see? You must have like a picture in your mind of what you're expecting when you walk in, and what kind of a journey. Are you nervous? Are you, I guess, all of the above, anticipating? Tell us a little bit about the emotional turmoil you're going through right now and what you're expecting to happen.
Oh, coming up to it, like I really do feel like I'm heading into a fight to beat my PTSD, and I almost feel like it's an entity. In the last couple of weeks, I feel like it is realizing what's going on and it's trying to fight for its life. Um, so it's been pretty emotional coming up the last couple of weeks. I am excited. I'm scared. I'm nervous. I'm thrilled. Um, yeah, you know, I'm expecting when I get there, because I'm staying with friends on the Sunshine Coast, so they're putting me on the ferry on the 17th, and my guide is picking me up off the ferry. So he has a new therapy dog. So I'm expected to be greeted by him and his wife and have this therapy dog there, like all happy. The first night we're gonna have a campfire. We're gonna get to know each other. Um, you know, and then we spend a couple of days preparing me, and then we have the morning that the nurse comes along and they give it to me. Um, I'm expecting, you know, once I finally get settled after the purge, one of the things I want, I'm going to ask Iboga. One of the things I'm hoping for is to go back to the moment that the PTSD formed. After listening to Patrick Muldoon, and his explanation of where he went, um, you know, when he went back to fight his PTSD, and he went to that moment that it would have begun, and he chatted with himself. I'm kind of expecting to go back and see the little pigtail Cindy Howell and let her know that I got her back, and she's going to be okay. And I'm kind of hoping that that'll bring her out of the corner and let her face her fears and realize that she's strong. And then I am hoping, because I had a tumultuous relationship with my mom, kind of hoping that I get the same opportunity with the mom in my head to have a conversation with her. And then I am hoping that I can almost take my fear, my anger, my rage, my hate, and toss them into a fire or put them in a balloon and burn them, make them go pop, and release that, because I live 24/7 in fight or flight. And I'm tired. It's been 42 years of fight or flight, and I'm tired. I'm just tired, and I just want to get some rest, and I want the little girl in me to know that she's going to be okay. So I want to give her a hug, and I want to tell her that I got her. I got you. And that it's going to be okay. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah. Yeah. Peace. Find peace.
Yeah. And then I'm hoping for a good 24-hour nap to rid me of this tired feeling, because like I say, I've been tired for 42 years. I have been in fight or flight for 42 years. Yeah. I have been unable to breathe for 42 years. And to be able to come out of iboga, or and be able to relax, and to not have to feel like I honestly have to either fight somebody or run from them 24/7. it's going to be freedom. And it's going to be something that I don't have a conscious memory of feeling.
Yeah. And, I want this for you so bad.
I'm
Good.
so
I'm so
I'm
happy.
excited for that little girl in me. I'm so excited for her because she's going to be able to come out of the shadows and she's going to be able to stand up with her back straight, knowing beyond a shadow of a doubt that none of it was her fault. Because I still feel like
That's
it's
right.
all my fault.
No. And this is going to work.
It is.
I can feel it.
It's
going to
is.
work.
I believe in signs. I believe that the universe gives you signs. I believe I got to make myself laugh, so I'm going to tell you something. I believe that one of those signs is my mom always used to say, when you got shit on by a bird, it was good luck.
Yeah.
So
it was good luck when it didn't get.
see, the other day I was driving along and I was thinking about my ceremony and I was thinking about my intentions, which are like to help the little girl heal and release the negative and heal my love for my mother. And I'm driving along and I'm thinking about this because I was told to think about it and write it down. So I've spent the last week doing this. I ended up with the biggest pile of bird shit on my windshield. and and that was it. That was like, holy fuck, this is gonna work. This is really gonna work. And then I cleaned my windshield off and I drove on. But it was like, I mean, like I told my daughter, I said, I think the bird had diarrhea because it was all down the hood of my car as well. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
yeah, and I immediately thought of my mother telling me that, well, if a bird shits on you, it's good luck. So yeah, I think iboga is already working and I haven't even ingested it yet.
It's exciting stuff.
Yeah.
It's exciting stuff.
Yeah.
So you leave on the big old jet plane tomorrow. When is your actual ceremony take place?
They pick me up on the 17th. And on the 18th, they give me they want to give you a small dose. So they give you a small dose. They just want to see how your body is going to react. I'm expecting that to be like, a macro dose of mushrooms. So that's, from talking to other people that have done it, like it's a micro dose of iboga is what I'll be taking. So I'm expecting it to feel like a macro dose of like, golden teachers or something.
Yeah.
They on the down, and so on the 19th is a down day. We go, they take you for a hike, and take you to the ocean. On the 20th is the ceremony. So the nurse shows up at 11 a.m. And he will take my vitals and make sure I'm all good. And then they give me they give me the iboga. I have no idea how much I'm going to take. I'm not in a current addiction. I am still in. I am in a recovery. I'm craving, but I have with the upcoming ceremony, gave me enough strength to continue to ignore those cravings. So I don't think I'll be taking a full dose for my height and weight because iboga really is it. A full dose is to fully physically detox. It's used to help people get off addictions. So I expect, I don't know, I'll find out on the 20th how much I'm going to take. I am going to film all this because I want to be able to remember it and show my doctor and whatnot because she is fully on board. So I'll take that. I'm guessing by 11:30 on the morning of the 20th. And they say that it lasts 12 to 18 hours. The nurse, he sticks around. He's been trained in Costa Rica and Africa as well. So he's not just a nurse; he's also a guide comparable to mine. So I'll have two of them plus their other halves who have both been trained and done this as well. So I'll actually have 4 people guiding me, which is pretty cool. So he'll stay with me, and that's Patrick Fishley. He'll stay with me until 11 o'clock that night, making sure I'm okay. And then I'll pretty much go to sleep at that point in time and have, great psychedelic dreams. And those are some of my favorite things in the world. So I'm kind of really looking forward to the iboga dreams. And then on the 21st, I get up, um, and I have absolutely no idea what to expect on that. We didn't see much of Patrick in the psychedelic frontier of what he was like the next day. Adriana in Dosed, she had a really crazy trip. Like hers is, she's they're expecting me to be average, and there's the above average, which was Adriana's. She really recessed. It took her reset took over a week, which was crazy. The reset usually takes 24 hours, and then you're tired for a day or two, right? They want you to rest for 2 or 3 days. Um, then they've also had people who were at the bottom of the spectrum. Like once they got past the physical purge and had a half-hour nap, they got up and came downstairs and wanted to have a sandwich and have a bonfire. So, I mean,
Wow.
who knows what's going to happen to me on the 20th, right? Like, and their subconscious still had the experience, but their conscious was like, yeah, I need a sandwich and I want to hang out outdoors. And, um, and then on
Yeah,
the
yeah. Every
22nd,
person is different, with all of natural therapy. We see this in cannabis all the time.
yeah,
One strain works for one person and not for another. One knocks somebody out and one energizes another. All plant-based therapy is pretty much the same. It depends on the individual, your body, everything about your brain, where you're at, your body, your endocannabinoid system, homeostasis, all of that comes into play.
absolutely. Absolutely. And they've only, when I was speaking with my guide, and I spoke to two other guides, so in the combined probably 4,000 people that they have helped, there has been one reaction of of an allergy reaction, and a Benadryl fixed that. So they were still able, and they found that out with their small dose, and they were still able to continue on with their big dose. They just had to have Benadryl at hand, and they were fine.
Oh, I've lost you. There you are.
No, I'm
Are you
here.
back? Am I
I'm
back?
back. You're back. I don't know if you heard what I said about the allergic reaction.
But it's quite the undertaking, Cindy. It's you've got to be a brave person, and gotten in touch with something down deep before even going for you to proceed with something like this, to have the ambition to get it done and the drive to get it done.
Well,
That's
thank you.
that's a major step unto itself.
I I don't see it that way. I see it as I'm at the point of being so desperate, and I have suicidal tendencies. Tried to commit suicide about 6 years ago, and the RCMP surrounded me. Um, so I see this as, I don't necessarily see it as brave. I see it as pretty desperate, and I'm glad that other people see it as brave. Um, but I feel very desperate. I mean, like I sit here and during my lives, either on IWK or on Reefer Reports or on Open Your Eye, you see me beaming from ear to ear. Most of the time, it's a put on. Um, I'm a very sad and scared person, and I don't want to be that sad and scared person anymore. So I'm really desperate to make my smiles 100% real. Today they're real. The psilocybin is working. Knowing that I'm going for this treatment, I swear to God, like I'm beaming. I like, this is all natural, happy Cindy. It's hard to believe when you're looking at me, um, on the times I'm not crying, that, like, are you sure she's depressed? Yeah, yeah, I'm really depressed. Every single one of my tattoos, every single one of them, and I'm covered from here to my toes, is therapy. Um, I would, my friends would message me and say, hey, how you doing? I'd be like, I'm having a really bad day or whatever, and come get a tattoo, that'll cheer you up. Um, So, yeah, I mean, so if you look at me and you look at my tattoos from my neck to my toes, and you realize that every single one of them, and I have sat over 500 times and I have 370 some odd tattoos, uh, that's how depressed I have been in my adult life, because every single one of them is
Yeah.
therapy for my depression.
Yeah. I call it my skin suit. When I was deep into my depression and I was really struggling with my PTSD, I'm doing fantastic today, and I'm thankful for that. But I called it my skin suit. I'd wake up in the morning and it's like, oh God, I'm still alive. I didn't die in my sleep. Oh shit. You know, and I know the feeling. And you're just like, shit, another day. All right, I got to get up. And the feet would come off the bed, and I'd sit on the end of the bed and be crying. And by the time I'm walking out of my bedroom, you're kind of doing this and you're pulling on this skin suit. And it's like you're wearing the skin of somebody else and you put it on top of you. And it goes from this, this, this. And you walk out and you're dead inside, but you walk out and you're like, hey, how's it going? And because you're wearing your skin suit, you're faking it, for the benefit of everybody else. And that's what I used to equate it to when I had to go into my therapy and stuff, and I would talk to them about it. And that's what it felt like. I'm wearing somebody else's skin when I'm in public. None of it's real. But you do it to get through the day, right? And then you come home and you cry and you take the skin suit off. Eventually, the skin suit sticks and it stays on. And what was underneath disappears. It goes away. It becomes part of the happy smile, and the frown disappears and the gray disappears. And the skin suit stays on longer and longer and longer until it's permanent. And, hopefully it never falls off again. And that's what I hope happens for you with this iboga treatment.
Thank you. Like I said, fight or flight for 42 years takes its toll on a person.
Yeah.
I am sure that half of my pain physically is caused by my emotions. It's caused by just being so tired and so tense, physically tensed up from being emotionally in fight or flight.
Yep.
So that's another one of my, funny little expectations, that at the end of it all, I'm not just going to be mentally better, but I'm going to be physically better. My pain is going to be cut in half. They also told me that I have a really great chance at that my allergies might be gone.
Now, isn't that cool? I mean, not just the mental aspect, not just the PTSD, but the physical aspects. Stuff alleviating, lowering your pain levels. Even with Karen Wilkie, came out of care and wound up getting better because of the physical healing process. People don't put that together with psychedelics, just like our news story.
Well, I mean, that kind of goes with the story that we were talking about earlier at the beginning of the show. Psychedelics, treating asthma. I mean, holy crow. I mean, if I can treat my mental issues, which are keeping like my body's physically tense because I'm always ready to either run or fight physically. If I can get rid of that, like, wow. If it helps with the inflammation, wow. I mean, there goes half to 3/4 of my pain, just like that, in 5 days, gone.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
Yeah, exactly. It's not just about the mental. I mean, these plants have healing properties for the brain and for the body.
Yeah. So my doctor, when I get home, we're gonna send me in for allergy tests. and we're going to test me for everything that I believe I am allergic to. Specifically, we have a list, and we're going to see how my body reacts to that test. So like the
That's awesome.
trees again, fish, bee stings, hornets. So we'll see
Yeah,
if the
yeah.
iboga actually heals that as well. My dream for the future, I go through this. I want to continue my education. I have a dream of someday going to Africa or Costa Rica and studying with Mark and his crew, and learning. Uh, I would love to implement it and have every soldier that comes home from combat have an iboga ceremony. I mean, could you imagine? They get to come home, and before they see their families, they get to go meet the person, like that second where the PTSD formed, and stop it. So before they go home to their families, they it's gone. They shed it.
Yeah.
Can you
Yeah.
imagine how much
So do
joy
we
that
call
would
you,
bring?
what would we call you, Reverend or Shaman?
I don't know. I think I'll stick with Reverend. I kind of like that one. It also pays homage to my grandparents were reverends, so yeah, I can kind of
Reverend
pay homage to
Shaman
them.
Cindy?
Reverend Shaman Cindy, yeah,
Reverend
yeah.
Shaman will hyphenate it.
Yeah, so yeah, I don't see my journey stopping with me being healed. Mind you, I mean, like, I'm going to be better able to take a look at that afterwards, because I don't know what it's going to bring me. I mean, like, iboga may say, no, 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 that's not your path. Your path is over here. And it may say you must go over here to this kind and help in this way. I mean, I don't know, but right now, like, I mean, with what I'm watching, I mean, yeah, I would love to learn more and bring one of the facilities down here to the East Coast, and help people here.
For sure. For sure. For sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we talked about, how your PTSD and your illness, and we talked about, how did you get in touch and get started with all this? Talked about expectations when it's all over. Um, I guess at the end of it all, do you think it's hard to say, I guess, right now? We have the after. I was going to ask you, is it the journey that you think you would gain, but you had to do it first time, right?
You were
Do you see
breaking up.
yourself now doing more than one?
You're breaking up. Can you
Do you
repeat
see
that?
yourself right now doing more than one treatment? Do you see yourself now
Yes.
doing more than one?
Yes, already. I don't want to stop there. I want to do an ayahuasca treatment. I am already working on, because I'm learning my history, like my personal history. My ancestors, my mother was First Nations. She her biological father hails from central Upper Canada. It turns out that he would be Cree. So I also want to explore doing a sweat lodge and trying peyote as well. That comes from, I mean, it's part of my DNA. So I definitely, I've already been offered a treatment with Louis de Silva. I'm definitely going to accept his offer when he comes to Nova Scotia, and help him get other people down here. It's going to be one of those things that it's going to be like cannabis for me, and microdosing with psilocybin. I'm going to use this. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to have this journey. It's going to work. You think I'm screaming loud about it now? You wait till after. I'm going to be on the mountaintops in BC going, "Oh, you motherfuckers better listen." And I'm gonna scream it from the mountaintops. It is like, I feel it. I'm that has happened with me with cannabis. That has happened with me with psilocybin, and I have no doubt, as I go forward with other psychedelics and medicate myself and take these ceremonies and learn more, I'm going to be screaming about them from the mountaintops as well. I feel unbelievably thrilled. I feel honored that I've gotten to chat with the people that I've gotten to chat with. Like, I mean, it started off with reaching out to Mark Howard. He introduced me to Elizabeth Bast, who's an amazing lady. Oh my gosh, we have to get her on this show. She introduced me to Gareth Moxie, who I chatted with. We then had Mark Howard on the show. Through Mark Howard, I met Patrick Fishley. He introduced me to Louis De Silva. Like, I mean, and these people, like, I mean, every single one of them, they have so much to offer, and they're all different in the way they practice as well. I mean, Louis De Silva and Mark Howard are both very set in ceremony. Their ceremonies are different. One has learned in Costa Rica. The other one has learned in Africa. They both practice through Costa Rica now, but they've learned via different shamans. So their ceremonies are going to be completely different. Elizabeth Bast has learned somewhere completely different and has come to work with Mark Howard. Gareth has learned, you know, elsewhere completely different. So everybody has their own little things. Gareth is more set in the medicine than in the ceremony, but he works with Patrick Fishley, who's the nurse, and Patrick is very much set in ceremony. So I mean, like this, it's such an exciting world, and I've only, you know, I've met like what, a dozen people, and like it's only the tip of the iceberg, and it's wow. I can't wait to learn more and to take more journeys and to see more about myself and to learn more about myself, and you know, to become a more positive person. And a couple of people are probably looking at me going, more positive? Yeah, more positive. You don't know what goes on up here. Like, you have no idea. I fight with myself 24/7 to fight those negative demons out of my brain. And I'm praying that iboga gives me, you know, more strength, or helps me to put them in a cage and put, you know, muzzles on them or something, right? Release that negativity and get it gone. I would be able to do so much more if I didn't have those demons plaguing my brain. And I truly believe that they come from the PTSD. They're coming from that hurt little, you know, 7, 8-year-old girl that's living inside of me. And if I can help her heal, wow, watch out. Like, I really think that what I can do in this field and the people that I can help in this field will be fantastic. And yeah, so I just want to keep going. I just want to keep going. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. I have high hopes. I have great expectations about this coming journey of yours, not only going across the our country, but also going across Great Plains within yourself. I think it's going to be fantastic for you, and I can't wait to talk to you when it's all over, and see where you're at.
Absolutely. I'm really excited. You might get a video chat like during one of my small doses, you know, I mean, crazy Cindy. I'll be calling people to.
I'm sorry I'm not doing it with you. I was supposed to join Cindy on this journey, and just help her with the videography of it all. But sadly, I wasn't able to make the trip with her. But I'm looking forward to hearing all about it.
And you will still be there in spirit, and you know, I know that if I want you there via video, you would be there in a heartbeat. You'd set it up and come in and out of the mobile home and keep an eye on me that way. So you might not be able to be there physically, but you're still going to be there, and I have no doubt about that. You know, it's it's really exciting.
I'm with you in spirit and as well as video. Yeah, absolutely. So we're gonna have you back on about a month after your treatment. So towards the end of the month in August at some point, and we'll do a sort of after show on you know, okay, we had all these expectations, so how did it turn out? And hopefully get a great update from you on where you're at after the fact. I know it's a little bit early, so I thought maybe it's a big place to call it, give you the opportunity to have final words to the audience, and a shout out.
Yeah. Final words. Gosh. I really thank you to everybody. And not just the people that I have been mentioning during the different guides, Elizabeth, Mark, Gareth, Louis, their other halves. Like, I mean, all of these amazing people that are making this possible, not just for me, but for all of the people that they've made it possible for. Um, I mean, honest to God, if it wasn't for certain friends of mine, I never would have done this. I mean, we have the people that unfortunately I'm not speaking with anymore, that came to the movie Dosed with me. Because back then, 2.5 years ago, 2 years ago, I wouldn't even go to, like, if people hadn't have gone with me, I wouldn't have gone. I would never have gone alone. So I never would have experienced Dosed. So even though I've grown out of those people, I'm so thankful that they went with me. Um, you like, I mean, you sent me, you gave me this opportunity to not just be on, like, here, but it started with the reefer reporters. Really, it started with IWK and 710 sesh, but if it wasn't for you allowing me to be on here, maybe I wouldn't have had the guts to do this. I mean, I'm doing it in front of everybody. Like, I'm doing it in front of the world. Like, hi world, I'm gonna go take Iboga in front of you. And kind of been planning that. So I'm thankful for you allowing me to join you on IWK and you allowing me to become part of the Reefer Reporters and inviting me to start this wonderful program with you. I mean, this is really exciting. Um, the people that are going to be hosting me out west, the people that are going to be looking after me and taking me around. And I lost Kim. She will be back, I promise. There she is. um, so yeah, like, I'm thankful for every single person that's you know sent me love and sent me joy and sent me have a great trip. I'm rooting for you. I mean, everybody is playing a huge part. So if I'm going to give a shout out to one person, I got to give a shout out to everybody. And there's a lot of people. Because without you guys, honestly, there's no freaking way I'd be doing this. Or my dad. My dad is paying for the ceremony for me. There's no way I can afford it. I'm on a pension, right? So I'm thankful for my dad for doing this for me. I mean, he just wants to see me heal. It would bring him great joy to see his daughter not suffering from PTSD anymore. So yeah, like, thank you to everybody. Like, there's not one person to thank. It's
awesome.
Everybody has played a huge part in this. Even just, like I say, a Facebook friend that I've never met that sent me, I'm so excited for you to do this. Like, I mean, everybody's a huge part of this, whether you want to be or not. So you're stuck with it.
It takes a village.
Absolutely.
Right. Right. Thank you so much for joining us as this today.
I'm just listening.
I'm going to let you wrap it up, Cindy. I'm going to see my phone right now because I think I'm doing that here. I just got a notice up there. So I'm going to say goodbye now and let Cindy wrap things.
Okay. I think she's just letting me wrap things up. One last thing I want to say is, if you are seeking and if you're looking for help in this area, don't spend 2.5 years seeking. I did it for 2.5 years. I searched and I seeked and I found. So reach out to me, seek me, and I'll help you seek the rest. How is that? I think that sounds like a great plan, because I've got a few websites I can send you to fill out forms to talk to people. So seek me. I'll help you. Kim froze again. Anyway, on behalf of Kim and I, thank you so much for joining us. I see Kim's frozen. I'm gonna say thank you so much. She's gone again. Have a wonderful day. I really appreciate all of you fine folks joining us here on Open Your Eye. I don't have closing notes in front of me, so I'm just kind of, babbling along. I'm going to throw up the closing now, and then I'll end the broadcast and I'll chat with Kim over on Facebook. Listen, you guys have a friggin' fantastic time. And I will see you all in 2 weeks. I'm not sure who we're going to have on for a guest, but I'll see you all in 2 weeks from BC. I love you. Bye.
The opinions of the individuals during this broadcast are their own and may not be the opinions of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
At Legacy 420, we believe in being different.
Experience the difference of quality control.
Our labs provide tested formulations for all of our products.
Experience the difference in trust.
Our customers can trust that we are following up-to-date COVID precautions for their safety.
Experience the difference in accessibility.
We're open 7 days a week. Please visit our website, legacy420.com, or contact us for curbside pickup as well as nationwide mail order shipping.
Legacy 420 values overall wellness.
Come and experience the difference of Legacy 420.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
What do you find at paceradio.net? People advocating cannabis education.
The People Advocating Cannabis Education Radio Network provides its listeners with news, information, and a place to be heard. This is done with a twice-weekly broadcast of the Reefer Reporters and by providing cannabis advocates a place to be heard through Cannabis and Coffee to Marijuana and the award-winning Pace Radio Show. Catch it all here at paceradio.net.
A doctor's job is to relieve your pains. And when it comes to growing cannabis, the biggest pain is trimming. Let Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions take the pain away. Whether you're a home grower or a commercial operation, we have the cure. From 4 plants to 400 plants, garden size doesn't matter. Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions comes to you with years of experience and professional discreet service. It's simple. We trim your weed and we do a damn good job. Visit drbuckcts.com to book your trimming.
What is the People Advocating Cannabis Education Radio Network? It's a network of people advocating cannabis education.
CP operates a medicinal cannabis signing clinic. If you want to grow your own medicinal cannabis and are located anywhere in Canada, then I'd like to suggest that you give them a call. They can be reached at 1-613-967-9888. That's 1-613-967-9888, and grow on with CP.
Who has huge buds? You do. If you shop at BMA Hydroponics, attend one of BMA's educational seminars and learn the secrets of growing, harvesting, processing, and consuming quality cannabis and cannabis products. Learn how to make better extracts, edibles, and medicinal creams at prices you can afford. Visit BMA Hydroponics at 404 Maitland Drive, Belleville, or call 613-967-9888. The only way to go.
We are People Advocating Cannabis Education here at paceradio.net.